So, last day I have told you about the in this class I have in the first batch I have told you the different reactions of water. Okay. Now, the water undergoes different reaction, that means we know already, that is reactions with the highly reactive metals, okay, and reactions with oxygen, that is the reaction with some non-metals. Okay. These are reactive non-metals forming the acids, formation of hydrate. What is hydrate? I have told you that hydrates are the compounds which is formed during the crystallization, the hydrates are formed. One example of hydrates is there, that is the zinc sulphate, the copper sulphate, these are hydrates. Okay. Now, last day I have told you about the bonding in copper sulphate, that is how the crystal structure of copper sulphate or how the crystal of copper sulphate with 5 molecules of water is represented. Next, after that it comes the last day. Are you present? Dhriti Priya, are you present? I think no, you are not present in that class. Yes. So, today I will discuss about I have told you about D2O, that is heavy water. Now, I have told you about the physical characteristics of D2O, because as deuterium is another isotope of hydrogen and the molecular mass, that is atomic mass, is greater and also the molecular mass is greater. So, the physical properties like the melting point, the boiling point having different, and it is larger than that of, it is higher than that of the water molecule. And I have also give you the real fact, that is the boiling point for water it is equal to 373, but for heavy water it is 374.5. Okay. Now, next after that it is the chemical properties. Now, what is the product form when water is electrolyzed? What is the product from when water is electrolyzed? The water is electrolyzed, its product is hydrogen and oxygen. In the same way, when D2O is electrolyzed, then it will be the production of D2 and O2. It is the electrolyte. Yes. Okay. So, there was only the product is deuterium and oxygen in the gaseous form. So, it is the product of electrolysis of D2O. Next one, action with metal. Now, just taking similarity with water molecule, Na plus H2O forming NaOH plus hydrogen. In the same way, Na plus D2O forming NaOD plus deuterium. NaOD plus deuterium. So, in all the cases D2O shows similarity with the water molecule, because the deuterium is one of the isomers of hydrogen. Next one, that is action with metallic oxide. Metallic oxide, that is Na2O plus H2O, it will produce NaOH base. In the same way, Na2O plus D2O forming NaOD. Okay. K2O, what is the name of this compound? Sodium deuteroxide. Sodium deuteroxide. If K2 is there, K2O plus D2O, KOD, what is the name of this? Potassium deuteroxide. Okay. So, this is the reaction number 2. Next one, when non-metallic oxides reacts with water molecule, it produces acid. For example, the P2O5, okay, and also the SO3, these forms the sulfurous acid, the phosphoric acid, these are the example. Now, when D2O is there, then there also the production of D2PO3, and also the when D2O is there with P2O5, D2O plus P2O5, it will produce in case of hydrogen, that is for water, it is H3PO3, but air D3PO3. Deuterophosphoric acid. So these are the very simple one. Okay. Now next one, action with metal salt. Action with metal salt. One example, that is metal salt, that is carbide, aluminium carbide, Al4C3 plus D2O. Similar type of reaction was shown in case of H2O. There was the production of aluminium hydroxide and one hydrocarbon. Here also the same kind of compound will be formed, and it will be the CD4, Al aluminium hydroxide. If not aluminium hydrocarbonate, if it is calcium carbonate, CaC2 plus D2O, it will form calcium hydroxide plus D2O plus C2D2. In place of acetylene, if water is there, then it would be acetylene, but as it is deuterium, so it is called deuteroacetylene. Deuteroacetylene. So these are the substitution product. In place of hydrogen, there the deuterium will takes place. Next reaction is that if any nitrides or phosphide are there, nitrides, that is magnesium nitride, calcium phosphide, Ca3P2, here also one hydroxide and one gases will form, that is one is Md3, Pd3, etc. Reactions with non-metallic oxide, that is the example is magnesium nitride, Mg3N2 plus D2O, it will produce magnesium deuteroxide plus Nd3. If calcium phosphide, Ca3P2 is there plus D2O, it will produce calcium deuteroxide plus Pd3, deuterophosphine, it is deuteroammonia. So these are the reactions. Next is that another one is exchange reaction, that means HCl plus D2O, HCl plus D2O, HOD plus BCl. Now these type of reaction having special emphasis on isotopic tracing, experiment. Now you can see that here D2O, just if we replace D2O by H2O, then the product will be HCl plus D2O, that is here is the production of H3O plus Cl minus. So we cannot understand that H plus ion coming from where, that is it is due to the dissociation of HCl. but here it is clear because HOD is formed here in place of DCl. So, the deuterium is giving, that is exchanging from D2O to HCl. Okay. These are the some reactions of D2O. Next, what is the application of D2O, that is heavy water? Number one, it is used in the nuclear power plant for the it is called moderator in the nuclear power plant. What is the role of moderator? That is it in the neutron, it is used to limit up the speed of the neutron in the nuclear reactor. Okay. This is one. Next one, I have told you about the isotopic tracing experiment in different to identify the reaction, that is just take the example, and another one example you may take NH4Cl plus D2O. Just take this example, NH4Cl plus D2O. The product is NH3DCl, NH3DCl and HOD, NH3DCl and HOD. So, if it will be H2O, then the product will be NH4Cl and this is H2O. Okay. But as it is D2O, so deuterium is exchanging in between NH4Cl and with HOD. So, it is used to trace the reaction mechanism of different organic and in reaction mechanism. Okay. So, isotopic tracing experiment, here is the another use of deuterium. These are two very important uses of. Another one, it is the source of deuterium, that is D2O. D2O is the source of deuterium. Okay. Okay. Next, about the hardness of water. Hardness of water. So, what is hardness of water? So, in soluble in the water sample, different soluble salts may be present. Different soluble salt. So, as salt containing both cationic and anionic part. So, in presence of this, that is the in presence of such soluble salt, it is not all the time it is the useful to us. So, sometimes it is also harmful to intake. So, the phenomenon which is occurred due to the presence of some cation or anion, basically the anions, the property of the water is changes. That means, it produces less ether or more lether. That means, in the foam which will producing more foam or lether is called the soft water, and which one producing less foam or less lether, then it is called as hard water. So, in presence of some anions, basically the anions like the the bicarbonates, the chlorides, the sulphate, these are three basic anions which are present. So, in presence of such kind of anion, the hardness of the water arises. Okay. So, the hardness of water is mainly divided into two parts. One is temporary hardness. Yes, hard water is harmful. Temporary and permanent. When we will discuss about the usability of D2O, then I will tell about this. It is harmful. It restricts the catalytic behavior, that is when the activity of the catalyst in our body is decreases due to the taking up of a D2O. So, hardness of water is due to the presence of bicarbonates, chlorides, sulphate. Now, temporary hardness is due to the presence of bicarbonates, and permanent hardness it can be removed it due to the presence of chloride and sulphate. Okay. So, temporary hardness due to the presence of bicarbonate, permanent hardness due to the presence of chloride and sulphate. Now, you can you have seen in the class 10 that the scum. What is scum? SCUM. So, when a hard water when reacts with some soap solution, the soap solution is basically the sodium or potassium salt of higher molecular mass organic acid. These are stearic acid and palmitic acid. Okay. So, NaX, sodium or potassium salt of high molecular mass organic fatty acid. So, it is basically represented NaX or Kx. Okay. Now, in salt sample the presence of calcium or magnesium is there, basically the bicarbonates of calcium, magnesium and sulphate. Now, when in water sample NaX plus Ca2 plus, it is present in the hard water. Now, it will produce Ca X plus Na plus. Now, CaX it is deposited, CaX it is deposited, and this deposition is called as scum. You have read it in class 10. What is scum? That means when hard water reacts with the salt, that is the soap solution, then it produces a precipitate, and this precipitate is called as scum. Okay. So, in the same way it is for NaX, and if it is for magnesium also, NaX plus Mg2 plus, it will produce Mgx2 plus Na plus, it will also deposit. So, it will again form the scum. Okay. So, due to the presence of bicarbonates, chlorides, sulphates of basically these are largely found compounds, that is calcium bicarbonate, calcium chloride and magnesium bicarbonate, magnesium chloride, okay, magnesium sulphate. Calcium sulphate is sparingly soluble in water. You can, if calcium sulphate it is not found, if it is present in the sample, then it can be easily be removed by using filtration method. Okay. So, these are the soluble salts for which the water sample goes to hardness. So, next step is that removal of hardness. Up to this clear? So, that what is hardness of water? That means the tendency of the water solution to make less ether or less foam with contact to some soap solution is called as hard water. What is the reason of this? It is due to the presence of bicarbonate, chloride and sulphate of calcium and magnesium. Okay. It is the soluble salt. Okay. Welcome Jhilam. Next one is the removal of hardness. So, first one we will discuss about the removal of temporary hardness. Removal of temporary hardness. I have told you earlier that it is due to the presence of bicarbonates. Now, for bicarbonate, one easiest method is that first heat the water sample, heating and then filter, heating and then filter. It is the process. Now just see the reaction. Suppose a sample contains calcium bicarbonate. When we heating it, then it will form calcium carbonate plus CO2 plus H2O. Now CO2 as it gas, it will be evolved from the system. Now CaCO3 is deposit, it is the precipitate, because calcium carbonate is not soluble in water. So it will precipitate in the bottom of the container. Now it can be removed by filtration. So for this reason there are two steps, heating and then filter. If again you will see the reaction of magnesium bicarbonate, it will produce magnesium carbonate plus CO2 plus H2O. Magnesium bicarbonate again will form a precipitate and it can be removed by filtration. Okay. So it is removal of temporary hardness. Next one is that another one method is here, that is the another one method is there, that is heating the calcium bicarbonate with or reacting the calcium bicarbonate with slaked lime. Yes, Clark's method. Another method is Clark's method. Yes, it is Clark's method. It is the reaction of calcium bicarbonate with the hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. So again it will form, the reaction is calcium carbonate and H2O. And for that case it will form magnesium carbonate plus calcium carbonate plus H2O. This method is known as Clark's method. That is removal of permanent temporary hardness by heating and then filtration, and second one using calculated amount of slaked lime and then filtration. Number 1, that is heating plus filtration, filter. Number 2, that is Clark's method or slaked lime plus water sample plus filter. These are the two methods by which temporary hardness can be removed. Which one? Clark's method. Okay, I am repeating both of these. So just hear that temporary hardness is due to the presence of bicarbonates. Temporary hardness is due to the presence of bicarbonate. Now just recall one reaction, that is when bicarbonates is heated. You have done it in class 10. When bicarbonate is heated, then it forms a carbonate, one carbon dioxide gas, which forms a white layer above of the fresh lime water solution. Okay. Now and another one is H2O. So using this reaction, that is suppose calcium bicarbonate is there, then heating it, it will produce CaCO3 plus CO2 plus H2O. Now CaCO3, it is not soluble in water, so it is insoluble in water. So, how can we separate the insoluble quantity from an water sample? One method is that filtration. So, if we filter the solution, then the CaCO3 will be separable. CO2 is as it is gas, it will be evolved from the system. So, we will get the soft water. It is one method. So, first of all heating and then filtration. For this reason I have written here heating plus filter. Yes, CaCO3 will precipitate. I have written here CaCO3. Next one is the Clark's method, that is using of slaked lime with the water sample. Now, for this the reaction is somehow different. CaCO3. Why I am using only calcium and magnesium? Because these are basically found in the water sample. Okay. Calcium and magnesium bicarbonates and their salts. Now, calcium bicarbonate is there in water sample. Now, calculated amount of slaked lime is added. Okay. Now, both of these react to form calcium carbonate plus CO2, not CO2, H2O. CaCO3 plus H2O will form. Again it will deposit, so it can be removed by filtration, and after the filtration we get the soft water. Clear? Clear up to this? Jhilam, have you understood? Yes. Okay. So, this is the two method to removal of temporary hardness. Next one is the removal of permanent hardness. So, permanent hardness is due to the presence of same, that is the cation is same, calcium chloride, calcium sulphate, but it is not possible because it is sparingly soluble in water. Next one is magnesium chloride and magnesium sulphate. These are soluble salts. So, again the definition of hardness is that when the salts like the chlorides and sulphates of magnesium and calcium is present in any water sample, then it is called as the permanent hardness, that the water sample contains permanent hardness. Now, permanent hardness can also be removed. How this can be removed? There are two methods. One is washing soda method. Removal of permanent hardness. Permanent hardness. Just remember, it is due to the chlorides, sulphate of calcium and magnesium. Now, first one method is the washing soda method. Washing soda method. What is the formula of washing soda? Na2CO3. And number 2 is that ion exchange method. Now, in ion exchange method there are two steps, there is two types. One is cation exchanger, another one is anion exchanger. Cation exchanger, that means it will exchange the cation, and anion exchanger it will exchange the anion. So, first one, today I will discuss only about washing soda method. So, washing soda, again a reaction, that is the calcium chloride. Assuming calcium chloride is present, plus it will react with sodium carbonate, because washing soda is taken, then it will form calcium carbonate plus twice NaCl. Again CaCO3 will be deposit, so it can be removed by using filtration. Okay. Next one, if magnesium sulfate is present, MgSO4 plus Na2CO3, then magnesium carbonate plus sodium sulfate. So magnesium sulfate can deposit. So you can see that here the cation, that is calcium, magnesium, are exchanged. Okay, these are removed from the water sample. Okay. From today onwards, your attendance will be taken. Jhilam, Dhritipriya, Krishnendu and Sunirmal. Okay. So today up to this, that is up to the removal of permanent hardness first step. Next day I will discuss about removal of permanent hardness by the ion exchange method. There are the permuted method, the zeolite, these have to be this, and also organic resins. Okay. So bye everyone, thank you for staying with us. Just your attendance will be there. Dhritipriya, Jhilam,